Hello, and welcome to Hitchhiker's Guide to Humanity. Today, we're talking about portals and how portals are literally inside us. Okay, so what I mean by the portals are inside of us, I think often humans think of densities, dimensions, whenever they're mentioned as physical things in the air. So, like, the universe has all these dimensions and stuff. But the truth is that all of these realms, these dimensions, these densities, they exist in us, in the human body. So your heart is the vortex to your souls, but it's more than a vortex. It is a portal. It is a portal to all your timelines that you yourself have scheduled for yourself on Earth. And so, what I'm figuring out by having this direct connection to Source, quantum realm, God, the divine spirit, is it's a lot about releasing this identity to something external. And I'll explain that. When we identify with something outside of ourselves, we compare ourselves, we, try to identify with others in a way that's not healthy. Okay, so connection and identification are two different things. Connection is feeling someone on a visceral level where you share some type of creation, where you share some type of experience. Identification is this surface level, I have to be a certain way because others are a certain way, right? I'm going to pull this from someone else instead of creating my own identity. And this comes from the human psychology wanting to belong, wanting to fit in some way, which I know are two different things. Belonging does require connection, so belonging is good. Fitting in is nothing's good or bad. Remember binaries? But when you try to fit in, you lose yourself and you lose that vortex and that portal within you. Because what happens is you have to keep rebuilding it. And if you're rebuilding it with someone else's scaffolding, you are not being your authentic self. You are not aligned to your mission and your blueprint here on Earth. And the reason that's a problem is because your blueprint affects everyone around you. And this is not to say you have to follow it completely, because that's why free will exists. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to do stupid shit. Like, we're humans. We may have these trillion-year-old souls up in here, but we're still in human bodies right now. If you're listening to this, well, actually, I can't say that. There's probably more than humans listening to this. But if you're listening to this, it means that you're trying to understand what humanity is really about. And that's really the reason I started this podcast, right? Well, no, I was told to by my spirit team. But now I'm realizing why. It's not only because my voice has light healing frequencies. So when you listen to my voice, and I know this is hard to believe because it's kind of scratchy and it's the morning and I haven't even brushed my teeth yet because I wanted to get this down. When you're listening to this, you're getting light activation codes from source directly. I know that sounds, well, it sounds insane in a human world, but I have nothing to say it's not true. And I listen to my body. And so if your heart is your portal of all the timelines, it has your highest timeline in there. The one where you are sublimely happy, the one where you find joy, the one where you find everything you've ever wanted. And not because you want to be famous or anything artificial like that. It can be quiet. Your higher timeline does not have to be seen by others, right? Many of you are living your highest timeline because your highest timeline isn't going to be mistake free. I want that to be clear. You're still going to make mistakes. You're still going to have flaws. You're still going to get your heart broken, figuratively. And those are the breadcrumbs to the beautiful home that you build inside you. The key to everything is inside you. You will not receive it externally. It's hard to contemplate if you're in a space where your human body is not letting you because of societal fears, because of things you grew up in, because of all the shit that humans perpetuate every day. But it's important to know that although doctors, psychologists, psychiatrists, all of that, they exist to essentially help your body be the best vessel it can be for your souls. That's why they're necessary. But they're not here to help you find yourself in the way that you can find yourself. And I don't want you to take that like, oh, she's saying, I have a psychologist. I love her. I've been with her over 11 years now. She has helped change my life. At one point, she kept me from losing my mind, from making terrible mistakes, and for helping me figure out that what I needed was inside all along. And she provided a space for me and asked me questions for me to find more about myself. And that's her job, and she's excellent at it. Shout out to Christine. So all of these other things that are happening, if they're not happening inside you, and this is going to sound selfish, but hear me out. It doesn't mean that you don't care what's happening in the world, that you don't care what's happening with your family, your friends, your colleagues, whatever. That's not what this means. What it means is the highest vibration on this planet is authenticity and joy. And in order to get there, you have to go within. And the more that you go within and the less you outsource to others, what you start to do is raise your vibration, which helps raise the vibration of the planet, which in turn helps all this shitty bullshit happening out there start to wane. So even though it sounds like you're not doing anything, you are doing something very, very important. It's worth $50 million you would have donated to a cause. I'm not kidding. It's more powerful than that. And you know how I know? Because there's a lot of people who have figured this out, and that's why all of this is happening. The institutions are crumbling because enough people, enough humans figured out that if they raise their frequency enough, they can make real change happen in the 3D physical realm. And that's what you're seeing. Now, granted, I don't think we had any clue that this is how it would manifest. I know if you're a high vibration, you don't want humanity to suffer like this. I don't want this. I don't want these fucking dictators dictating shit and people listening. I don't want that. I don't want people to feel like they can't live their authentic lives. That's bullshit. And I hate it. And I will never stand for it. Ever. No. But things have to crumble for things to build. And I've been working on how the hell I reconcile that. How do I live the embodiment of the means justify the ends? Or is it the ends justify the means? I don't like that. It's such a cruel way to look at things. I don't want people to lose their homes. I don't want people to get deported. I don't want the trans community, the beautiful trans community, to feel unwanted or unloved. I hate that. What I'm seeing is people being lifted up. I'm not seeing the destruction of all of this. What I'm seeing is a losing side fighting to win, and they're losing terribly, and they will lose in the end, and it's coming. And in the meantime, the protectors have come out. The protesters have come out. The ones who stand for freedom and humanity and this beautiful thing called life, they have come out. We have come out and said, fuck you, we're not doing this. And it happens small at first, and then it ripples. And that's what we're seeing. The consequences are happening. They're just not that fast, and that sucks. So when I say the ends justify the means, understand that I am not one of these people who are like, burn it down so that we can get something better. No, I don't want things to burn down. Not when we can consciously build things up from a draft that we already have. You don't always have to burn it down for you to build something back up. You can take that draft and edit the parts you don't like and then put the parts you like in. But we didn't do it that way. I think there's a few different POVs happening over this, especially in the spiritual world. And if ever you doubt how I feel about this, know that I am always, 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 always going to be on the side of humanity. Period. End of story. That is why I'm here. I'm a lot of things, and one of the big ones is a protector of this beautiful human race. Okay? Nobody came to me and said, hey, you feel this way, but I just want to make that very clear because my soul is screaming that this is bullshit. And it's screaming, wake the fuck up. Zoom out and see this for what it is so that we can stop it. Quit watching the news every day for all of these terrible updates. Go back to your community. Volunteer. Raise your vibration doing what you find joy in doing. That's what we need. That is what we need. We don't need you posting about what the fuck has happened. We all know. All you have to do is go on one social media channel or turn on the TV or whatever. Talk to somebody and you'll learn. You don't have to witness it for it to happen. You don't. It doesn't mean you don't care, and it doesn't mean you don't have empathy. It also doesn't mean that you're dismissing something. That's not true. You're not dismissing anything. What you're doing is helping the whole world raise their vibration by you living in that high vibratory state. Okay, that was a lot. I don't know. That just came from I was talking to Spirit. I was like, hey, I feel like I'm getting some stuff right now. And they're like, well, go record it. And I was like, well, I literally haven't even brushed my teeth or taken my medication or anything. So here I am with my dirty ass teeth. I'm going to go brush them now. Until next time, peace and love to you all.